Tighten up that bar. That is flutter, my folks. My friends, that is flutter. That is a pinch. What is this? Is that something you can't do? No, that's just a rake there. I just dragged that hand down the harmonics. Right? I'm just stealing it from ZW. I get that from, I don't know, somebody. Anyway, guys, great video for you today. If you haven't figured it out, these videos are getting longer. Thanks for watching. We are through the beginner segment of 5-10 minute videos of basics. We are now getting more involved with these lessons, and I'm acting as if you are sitting right in front of me, and I will be interacting with you on these lessons. I'll be asking you questions, and you can answer through the comments, or you can just pause it to get your own answers. But these are going to basically be real guitar lessons that I'm going to be putting out there. I don't know what everybody else is doing with their channels to help you guys play better guitar. I'm here to explain everything as if you were taking a regular lesson every week at your local shop. I owned a music school for a very long time, over 20 years, and I had people in my place all the time. And when I sat down with people, I gave them a regular lesson, just like you would get when you sit down. So when I go on the internet and watch things, sometimes I don't see things that I really enjoy watching. So these lessons are designed to be as if you were sitting in front of me and you would be asking me questions and interacting with me. So you ask me questions when you don't understand something. It's great if you want to leave a comment, but I really want to hear if you don't understand something, I will explain it to you. All right. So this is as if you sat in front of me each week and we're taking your lessons and you're like, hey, Mezzy, this week I want to go back over this thing you showed me. Put that pedal back in there. Sometimes my pedal gets unplugged. I step on that wire, which I think I just did. So now, if you have a question, you ask. These lessons have more explanation to them. So these lessons cannot be explained in 5 or 10 minutes. I'm acting like you're sitting in front of me. And we would take a lesson where I have time to explain the things that are going on. So in this particular lesson, I'm going to explain something that works in every single style of music: metal, rock, pop, blues, shred, classical, country, jazz, the whole nine. All right? No matter what you're doing, you should understand this concept. But I will say this. It really does not apply to people learning cover songs or just wanting to play covers. If you want to write music and be an artist, this is a lesson you'll definitely want. All bands do this thing, no matter the style of music it's in. They all do it. You'll be able to recognize it, and you'll see what's going on and be able to recreate it yourself. So, what we are talking about is the doorway chord. That's right. By the way, I'm a victim of GPS. I have it very badly. So as we get into the deeper videos, you will see it. GPS is called guitar player syndrome, and I have it. It means I can only sit still for a little while before I jump on and do something stupid, like, because I just can't sit still very, very long. That's why the videos were great when they were 5 or 10 minutes, but now that they're going to be a little longer, because they involve some explanation, you know, my ADD totally comes out. Did you hear what I said? The teacher would say, I'm like, no, I didn't. I was off ADDing with something I was doing in my head or something. I'd be like, I was thinking of the E Frisian scale when I didn't hear the homework. That's what I do. Or I'd be like, I was sleeping again. I was up all night practicing. So I missed everything. Oh, there it goes again. The wire just popped out. So anyway, I was the kid that stayed up all night playing guitar, dragged my butt to school, and slept all day in class. And when my teachers got mad at me because they told me to put your head up, and I would just continue to sleep, disobeying my teachers by just not caring and just sleeping all day. They'd send me down to the principal, he'd send me to the nurse, and I'd sleep half the day in school, and I didn't even go to class half the time. I was sleeping all day. But I got to be honest with you, when I was a kid, I already knew I was going to be a guitar player. I made that choice at 11. I wanted to be a guitar player. I didn't care how. I didn't really care what I did. I just wasn't sitting in traffic working 9 to 5 for a boss, and I really never have. I've been my own boss. I play guitar. Whether I made money in a band, teaching, recording, session work, whatever, I've done it all, and I enjoy playing guitar. So that's why I'm teaching you everything I know, so that if you ever want to get to that point where you don't want to do anything else for a living but play the guitar, you have a chance. It is totally something you could do for a living. You just have to decide what area of it you want to pursue. The original band touring thing is a great thing to pursue, but I would definitely suggest pursuing other things as well. So if that doesn't hit, or until it hits, you got money coming in. But anyway, the point is you're going to have the type of skills to earn money with the guitar, because there's a lot of my students who want to play guitar professionally, doing anything from playing in bar bands that make a couple grand a month to teaching on the side as well. They just, like me, don't want to work 9 to 5, and we don't want to work overtime. I don't. Some people are like that, and some people don't want to run their own business and worry about generating work. They just want to go get a paycheck, and that's fine too. But you're going to have the knowledge, whether you want it or not, to be a professional, because that's all I know how to do, is teach it in a way that makes everybody great, because I don't leave anything out. I just teach everything. So if you have a question, let me know. Now, the only difference is between sitting with me here in the videos is if you sat with me from the day you started playing guitar, then in a little, then I could cover I would know that you've learned everything, because I would make sure you learned everything. On the videos, I'm trying to cover everything, but everything is a different order because I don't see everyone the same every week, and I don't see everybody, so I'm just putting out video to get everything out there eventually. So that's what's going on here. Now, this lesson is no different. It involves some explanation. I will say this. There is a prerequisite skill you're going to need to be able to take advantage of this video if you are an artist who wants to write original music. You will need to memorize or have memorized all the chords of the keys that you play in or want to play in. If you don't play in a key, I guess it isn't that important that you know the chords, although I know them all anyway, because why wouldn't you want to know them? Your business is guitar. Why would you not want to know, So you kind of want to know what your competition's doing, and so you want to know what's going on in the other keys as well. Now, the reason you need to know all the chords for the different keys is because the whole purpose of doorwaying in and out is to get in and out of a key smoothly. So here's how you need to know what a doorway chord is and how to figure out what it is. So here's how we do that. A doorway chord is any chord that's in a key you're playing in that's also in the key that you want to go to. That chord needs to be in that other key. Now, you need to keep in mind that every major chord and every minor chord are in 3 different keys. How do we know that? Well, every major chord can be a 1 in a key, the first chord. It could be the 4th chord. It could be the 5th. We're going to start with the key of G major, where G is the 1. Every minor chord is in 3 keys. It could be the 2, it sits as the 3, and it sits as the 6. We know this. So these chords are in 3 different keys. So to doorway smoothly from key to key, we need to make sure that the chord you're on or leaving is in another key. Why does that even matter? Well, here's why it matters. Let's pretend I'm in the key of G major and I'm on a B chord. I'm on a B power chord. Let's just say this progression is let's get you in here seeing my guitar here. Let's just pretend that we're going to get out of this key of E minor. Let's use G major. We're going to be in the key of E minor, because we don't really use the minor slide since we're mostly metal guys here. Right? Mostly metal. How well can you guys slide and stop on a chord? Are your sliding skills superior? How fast can you slide up the neck and get where you want to go? Because I almost never miss. I do miss, but I want you to almost never miss. Now, what we're talking about here is the doorway chord. So if I'm in this progression, right, I have an E and a B, and there's a C. We need to make that very clear. There's a C here because that would limit the keys we can play in. So let's just say we're locked in the E minor with this E, B, and C. We know there's no other key with these chords, right? Because only the one key has an F sharp and a C in it. And that is the key of G, right? So we know this is now locked into G because we have the E, we have the B with the B and the F sharp, and then we have a C with C and G. Very well locking this progression to the key of G, right? Or E minor. Now, we want to get this progression into another key. And we want to do it smoothly so the listener cannot tell we left the key and into another one. So then one of these chords is going to be a doorway chord. And one of these chords cannot be the doorway chord. Not for the key I want to go to. I should have put that in there. So let's take a look at what we're going. Let's look at what the possibilities are for these doorway chords. We're going to use B. Okay. If we use B, then we have a choice of any key that B is in. Now, the B power chord can be major or minor. Since we're staying to the minor key, we generally are thinking we want a darker sound. I am not thinking to go to a key where the B chord would be major. So I'm going to exclude all the B major keys, and I'm looking only at the B minor keys. I'm already in one of them, G major, where the B is the 3. Right? G major, the G is the 3, G, A, B. So now that means that there are 2 other keys that I can use this B minor, even though it's a B power chord, we go by the name of the real chord in the key, which is B minor. So now I have 2 other keys with a B minor chord in them that I can doorway in smoothly from this B power chord. Are you following me so far? Does that make sense? Right? I'm in the key of G with the B being a 3. I can go to the key where B is the 2, or I can go to the key where B is the what? The 6. That's right. Very nice. Good job. So where do you want to go? The most common place would be which one of those 2? Meaning, what are bands going to more often than others? These are facts. Nothing I'm going to, it's not my opinion. If we look, when a band is in E minor, focused on E, where's the more common key to go? If they're pulling off the B, I'm going to tell you right now, they're going to B minor. Because it's a very, very popular sound. Now you got to get from this B into your key of B minor and make it sound like you meant to do it and that you didn't even leave. There's a lot of ways to do that. I'm going to give you a few of them right now. Let's take a look at how we can doorway into the key of B minor. Then I'm going to show you a song where I doorway from the key of F sharp minor to the key of C sharp minor. It's actually on an album out there. It's on a compilation disc with a bunch of other very famous shredders. I actually lead off a 2-disc CD. I lead off the second CD with my track because the producers felt and the owners of the record label that put out this compilation CD, Versailles Records, felt that my track was the most ferocious. So even though other players like Lynch are on there and a bunch of other shredders and guys from big famous bands, older bands from the 80s and 90s, of course, but I lead off the second CD because I was the young gun at the time, and my song is pretty ferocious. It's called Welcome to Shredville. So if you go look up Guitar Wizards Volumes 1 and 2 from Versailles Records, I'll lead off the second disc with my Mezzyshredder track, Welcome to Shredville. That's what you'll hear if you end up going over there. I usually don't mess up my own songs. But anyway, let's get back into the doorway thing. So we're in E minor, we're ending on a B. Anything you want to do that floats you, floats this E. And then these other chords are filler chords, but we're going to rest on that. We're going to finish up with that B. Now I go over to C sharp minor or B minor, which has that C sharp note in it, so I could go there if I want to. Now, since I'm on the B, I can go to any chord. This is how it works now. We have already chosen the key of B minor. We're leading off of the B in E minor. We're going to use this B minor chord to get into B minor. Here's how this works. When we're playing the B chord, that ends the riff that we're in E minor on. So if I get out of this, so the end of this riff in E minor, now this chord in my head, I just turn the little switch and say, now I'm in B minor. And now this B minor chord that was the last chord in my E minor riff is now the first chord in my B minor progression. And I can now continue on from the B as if I've been in B minor the whole time. Because as long as I go to something in B minor from the B chord, it sounds like it never left the B key. Watch. Now you see I'm playing in B minor. Here's your B. And now I'm borrowing when I'm on the C sharp chord. Hopefully you guys are seeing me saying to yourself, wait a minute, there is no, what is that, folks? G sharp? There is no G sharp in B minor, and you are correct. I'm borrowing this chord, as so many bands do. So technically, I left the key again to go to a key where there's a G sharp, which would be F sharp minor, A major. But I'm actually focusing on that B, and I'm trying to make it stay to the key of B minor, which everything is, except for this one note that's on this extra chord there. This is your diminished note. There really is no power chord for that key. But like so many bands that will say they're in B minor, I'm going to keep to this note of C sharp and just use the extra note here because it just makes it fill in the way I want it to harmonically. It's balanced better. So I'm going to use this C sharp power chord to keep me in the, and still pretend, and still use my key of B minor. But watching this B chord down, back out of it into the key of E minor now. So now we're back in this B minor riff. Now all I do to get back in E minor is I just walk it back down. You want to get back into B minor, start from the B, go right back into B minor like this. There's the C that makes you stay in, that's keeping you in E minor. Now, if you're down here and you're playing the C in your E minor riff, you can have a riff that does two different things here. You just might want to add it in it chromatically if you really want to add that C sharp into your progression. You could just do it chromatically like Van Halen would do it. And Dime would do the same thing. I mean, with Metallica, I know you guys are gonna correct me. So it was Metallica, right? Metallica did write Whiplash. Okay, I don't want to say Metallica wrote "Am I Evil?" God, you guys will cut my head off for that one, and I'd cut my head off too. Metallica wrote the song Whiplash, and they used chromatics. Let's take a look. And if I don't play it right, oh my gosh, don't cut my head off. I think this is how it goes. Let me just say that. I believe it's 4 groups of 4 16th notes. Right? So what are you going to count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? They went. That's chromatic. That's not in one key. Right? There isn't even a blues scale in there. There's nothing in there. It's just an A flat. There's nowhere there. I don't really know a scale that's going to justify putting that chord in E minor and saying there's another scale. I don't know a scale that just has an A flat in it in the key of E minor. If you know an E minor scale that only has an extra A flat added to it, tell me what it is. But here's what they did. Right? So look at what they did. Half steps all day. That's all they use, right? Right? Was just what I did, right? All half steps in that song. So this is a half step. And then B to G. What is that? B, C sharp, D sharp, F sharp, G. Perfect. That. So this, and then that's all half steps in there. darker intervals that they used to write that track. That's all. So now you understand a little bit about the doorway chord, right? So this is a track I wrote where I just simply used the F sharp note as the doorway note from the key of F sharp minor, and I knew that same note was in the key of E major as the 2 in C sharp minor, so I did the same exact lick twice. I just shot it up the neck. I came over, I did a little rake, which ends on this F sharp. As I'm playing the F sharp chord, the F sharp box, I get out of there by going to this F sharp, and I immediately jump to this C sharp, and I go. And the old version of the original version actually went over here and did a couple arpeggios like to the C sharp, and then it would go back. And didn't do some other stuff in between. But the idea there is that I'm using this F sharp note from one key to get smoothly into the next. Now I could have went to the C sharp and stayed in the key of F sharp, but I didn't. I went to the key of C sharp where the notes are different. And so you can't tell when I make the switch. Because this note is in both keys, anything I do off this note will sound fine. There's the D sharp, right there. It doesn't sound wrong or off when I play coming off this F sharp. Right? Doesn't even if I go to the F sharp and play with this G. Here's your F sharp minor key. The sound is smooth, very smooth, and that is the idea. So whatever key you're in, whatever chord you're on, if it's major or minor, you have two other keys you can go to that chord is in and just play right into those keys and go right into those sets of chords. And it works the same exact way for the scales. If you're in a F sharp minor scale and you're in the key of F sharp minor and you want to go to a key where the F sharp is, let's say you want to go to D major, the F sharp is 3. You could literally stay in the same spot and just, when you rest on the F sharp, you just switch it out. Instead of, you might just go to the F sharp Frisian. Then you pop a whammy bar thing real quick. And guess what? You're out of F sharp Frisian. You're right back in F sharp Aeolian. And you're right, another pop, and you're back into F sharp Frisian. Back into F sharp Aeolian. So doorway chords allow you to smoothly enter another key by saying to yourself, I am ending on this chord and no longer using it for this key. And now it begins to be used for this other key. And you just move into the next set of notes. And you can do this. And if you know your circle of fifths, this is for you advanced guys who know the circle of fifths memorized. Here it is. You could, and it can be done, has been done. You can doorway yourself from the key of C, which is your first key, You can pick a chord from the key of C that's in the key of G and move into the key of G. You can move the bridge into the next key, the solo into the next key, and you can keep moving one key over the circle of fifths all the way around. And technically, you could have a song in all 12 keys if you had 12 parts that you just kept moving around. But most likely, what you'll do is you'll start a song in E minor, and you'll go, hey, let me move into A minor for a bridge, or a chorus is in A minor, the verses are in E minor chord is in both keys. It's not that hard to connect them. What I tell my students to do is get a songbook, an album book. You really need an album book to do this. It doesn't work with a songbook that has one or two songs from an artist. You guys who are serious about learning how to use these doorway chords, if this is something that appeals to you, I'm going to tell you one of the best things you could ever do for yourself to learn how to master this craft, and it does not involve me in my lessons. All you need to have is an album book by one of your favorite artists. And why it has to be one of your favorite artists is this reason. Because you're going to go over this book with like a fine-tooth comb. And if you don't love the album, you're not going to spend enough time ripping through every single page over the course of a month or 2 weeks or whatever, a week even, an hour even. You've got to dissect this book, and I'm going to tell you how. And this will teach you how to learn how to spot when somebody else is doorwaying using chords to get in on the keys, and will make your level of understanding so strong that you'll feel like you can do it without any real practice, because you'll already be confident that you know what you're doing just by understanding what everybody else is doing. Hey, if you see everybody else jumping across the road and getting whacked by cars, you pretty much can say to yourself, well, I know how to not get run over. Just wait for them to not be crossing when I cross. You can learn it from somebody else without actually having to go through it, is what I'm trying to say. So you can just understand this and just do it yourself. Now, here's what you're going to do. You're going to get a book that you love. Whatever album it is. Get the whole book. You're going to look at every single chord in this book, and you're going to look at every single chord. You're going to start with a full song. You're going to look at the song, and you're going to look at every single chord in the song. The cat has to come in, of course he does. Look at this guy. He just has to make his way into my videos. What? What do you want? You're on camera, dude. Anyway, so here's the deal. You have to study every single chord in that song and see if the song leaves the key. If it's this time signature at the beginning of the song, we'll have a G clef and give you the number of sharps that tells you what key it's in. So if you see one sharp at the beginning of the song, you know the key with one sharp is the key of G. And that is the song that they're saying the song, that is the key that they're saying the song is in. But that doesn't mean it stays in that key. Somewhere in that book, if it leaves the key, they will add sharps or take them away or put some flats in or do whatever they're going to do to show you whatever the new key is. Generally speaking, when they doorway into another key, it's based off of a chord they're already playing. So you'll see if a song does it, or if a band's going to do it, they will use a chord that's going into the next key they're going to be in, like we just explained. So what you want to do is look over the chord progressions for every single song and notice when they use a chord that's not in the key. Now, did they just use this chord? Where are you? Did they just use this chord and just pick it because it's chromatic, or it has a particular sound, but they're not in another key? Or are they actually in the other key now because of this chord? Did they go to the whole other key based on this chord? Studying songs and seeing what the artist did will make you raise questions. And if you can't answer those questions, then you know you have a weak area that you need to tackle. And then that's where I come in. That's when you get back to me, because there's nothing I don't know. I think I pretty much know everything you're going to need to know. So if you want, you can ask me a question, leave a comment. That's what this is. This is like a guitar lesson where me and you sit down and we have our lesson. Only I don't know when you're sitting down to watch it. So we ask the questions whenever you want, and I'll get back to you. Sound good? I can't help you any better than that unless you're actually going to get on a remote lesson with me. So if you want remote lessons, you want personalized lessons dedicated to you truly and solely, then you message me at Mezzyshredder@gmail.com, and I will help you out. In the meantime, do some of this homework and get back to me and let me know if you have questions. This is exactly what would go on in our lesson if you sat with me. I'm acting like you're sitting in front of me, and I'm talking to you like you're sitting in front of me. Only he wouldn't be in the lessons. I don't know what his deal is today. He's a camera hog. He's like me. We're both camera whores. We love it. When I was playing live, I was all over the camera scene. So I like videos. I'm in a lot of videos. I did camera stuff. I love being in videos. That's why I'm making this channel, because I love being in the spotlight like that. So some people don't want that, and so I did, and I do. So he likes it too. But anyway, guys, ask me questions if you have them. I hope this explains doorway chords, and I hope it helps you open your world of creativity to writing so that you understand you don't have to write the same thing twice. You don't ever have to say to yourself, I can't come up with anything new. Doorway chords and moving in and out of the different keys is an excellent way to keep your writing original and creative. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video, guys.